Hey everybody, back again with the Jon Boat. As you can see, we've done a little bit to it since the last time. We've gone ahead and finished painting the whole outside of it with a green Rust-Oleum color. It's as close to green as I could get to a Lowe's Jon Boat. And although I had thought about not painting it with a camo pattern, I went ahead and I put a camo pattern on it. And I'm going to show you how to do that this morning. And it's pretty easy. I'm no camo expert. I've never done a camo before. Nice granddaddy long leg there hanging out. Anyway, what we have is three basic colors on the Jon Boat. I left the front unfinished, and we'll do that today, and then you can see how I did this pattern if you're interested in doing this. So I got three basic colors at Lowe's. Rust-Oleum Satin, which is a sort of a greenish color. It's not quite green, and I actually got a couple cans that were the wrong color, so I had to go back and get that. Then this is more of a beigeish tan color. And then your basic brown. Pretty simple. So we'll get to it here, and I'll show you what I did to come up with a pattern for the camo. Get this stuff shook up real good. I've already wiped off the boat. Got what little bit of crap that was on it off. And we're going to spray the front here in just a minute and get this stuff shook up a little bit more. Now what I basically used for my pattern, so I went over to my pine tree and I pulled a branch off. I figured the pine tree could suffer a little bit for our benefit. Seemed to work out pretty good. Left a good pattern. I didn't get crazy with it and lay it on thick anywhere. But as you can see, it's pretty subtle. Seems to be working pretty good. So with all that said, let me see if I can get this set up to where you can watch, and we'll get to it. I used to complain about people filming themselves on YouTube, but now I understand why they have such a hard time. I don't have a tripod. I'm not that tech savvy to do this, so bear with me while I get set up. That might do it. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the beige color. Get it good shook up. And I just mist it a little bit. I don't lay it on heavy or anything. And I just lay out the pine needles in a pattern, and then just sort of move them along. Pretty simple. Like I said, I'm no camo expert. I've basically never camouflaged anything before in my life. But you just want to make sure that you hold it back pretty far from the needles and make sure it sprays through the needles. That's pretty good right there, I think. Okay, that's pretty subtle. That does our beige, or I use the beige as an undercoat and not as an overcoat. And I use the brown very sparingly and use that as the overcoat for the camo. Ideally, you probably want to let this stuff dry just a little bit, but for the purposes of this video, we'll do it quickly. And again, we're just patterning a little bit here and there. You just want to spray it so it makes it through the needles onto the boat. And wherever you think it's good. I mean, whatever you like. I'm not going to be like Bob Ross here and tell you happy little trees. But I think that's pretty good there. So basically that's what we have. We have a cheap, inexpensive way to have a camo pattern on your Jon Boat. Or really anything. If you want to paint your pickup truck, you could do it. And I'll get a little closer and show you what we got. I'll probably go back and touch up the handle a little bit. That's a little rough, but I mean, it's a $50 Jon Boat, so who cares? And that just continues around with the theme around the sides. And that's what we have there for today. I'll have another video coming shortly. We're going to fix the board and the transom. We'll let this dry and we'll flip it over, and then we'll see how that works out and show you guys how to fix the board on the transom. At that point, we should be ready to take it out and for a little spin on the Ohio River here and see how it does. I'll show you my trolling motor that I've had for probably 30 years. It's pretty old. This is probably the first trolling motor ever, I don't know. High and low speed. So that's what I got for the motor. And as for the battery, I went to my used battery guy, who's always reliable, and told him I needed a compact deep cell battery. And he gave me a wheelchair battery and said this will work great. I've already hooked it up and made sure it had a good maintenance charge on it and it's ready to go. And it seemed to power the motor just fine. So there you have it. That's the next installment on the $50 Jon Boat makeover. And there's the front that we just did. So I happen to think it's turning out pretty good. Maybe you guys do too. If not, feel free to leave a comment either way. And we'll get back with you and we'll do the transom. And then we'll be taking it out for a test run and taking you guys with us also. So thanks for watching and stay tuned.